Did you know the Attica prison rebellion of 1971 was put down when state troopers indiscriminately opened fire on trapped prisoners and on prison guards? Attica prison was severely overcrowded. Its majority Black and Latinx population was subjected to constant physical, psychological, and verbal abuse. All the prison guards were white, some were members of white supremacist groups, and they often punished white inmates when they fraternized with non-white inmates. Prisoners were allowed one shower per week and one roll of toilet paper per month. Elliot Barkley, who would go on to be a leader of the prison rebellion, wrote to his mother, quote, "I am dying here little by little every day." There was a system of servitude within the prison similar to other prisons organized by the prison guards and Warden Mancusi. For example, a man named Frank Smith was the warden's laundry boy for 30 cents a day. The sadism of the prison guards and the warden led many inmates to view this prison as an extension of slavery and as evidence of a societal problem in which the poor and non-white folks of the country were stripped of their rights and denied their basic human dignity. Sometime in 1970, the men in Attica began demanding improved treatment, including better educational, occupational opportunities, better food and medical care, and an end to overcrowding and prison guard brutality. In mid-1971, a man named Herbert X. Blyden founded the Attica Liberation Faction. They wrote a list of demands and petitioned Corrections Commissioner Russell Oswald and New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller for better treatment. They were ignored. Their demands intensified in August of 1971 after the killing of prison activist and revolutionary writer George Jackson in San Quentin Prison in California. They were ignored again. Next, 700 men in Attica participated in a silent fast. They were ignored again. In September 1971, a spontaneous uprising began when some men in Attica overpowered some prison guards. They took 42 prison guards hostage, they destroyed prison property, set fires, captured supplies, and demanded to meet with Commissioner Oswald and demanded that Warden Mancusi be fired. This got white people's attention. After the initial chaos of the takeover, the hostages were given the same food and water as the inmates and were even protected from harm by Frank Smith, who oversaw security during the rebellion. Commissioner Oswald did agree to improve conditions, but would not agree to amnesty for the inmates. The men in Attica then requested Nelson Rockefeller to meet with them, but instead, and on the advice of President Nixon, to make an example of them, he ordered state troopers to surround the prison. They eventually entered the front gate and opened fire. Over 2,000 rounds shot into the prison yard. They killed 39 in total, including some after they surrendered, and including 10 prison guards. They also brutalized men who they perceived to be leaders of the rebellion, including burning cigarettes on them, starving them, sexually violating them. The men in Attica were trapped and had no way to defend themselves. As the massacre ended, most news outlets reported Warden Mancusi's false claims that the inmates were responsible for the 10 prison guards that were killed by castrating them and slitting their throats. Governor Nelson Rockefeller called it a beautiful operation. The demands made by the men in Attica remain core demands today. And finally, I suppose then those 10 blue lives didn't matter. I wonder why that is.